Think of each person's mind as a workshop full of half-finished sculptures. Each sculpture is a belief. Some are beautiful but incomplete. Others are ugly and harmful. Your job isn't to smash the sculptures. It's to turn the lights up so they see the cracks themselves. This is what vivid future simulation does. You let them step back and see, under harsh neon light, how ugly the sculpture of their future looks if left untouched. You don't tell them this is ugly. You hold the mirror. Their own emotional brain, the limbic system, will recoil. That recoil is the first swing of their hammer. The default mode network is literally the brain's time machine for imagining the future and past. If you can stimulate it with vivid imagery and emotional salience, the person's own prefrontal cortex does the self-convincing work for you. A man keeps complaining his view of the mountain is dull and grey. You tell him nothing. You hand him a cloth. He wipes his window and gasps. You didn't argue. You didn't convince. You gave him an experience of clarity. That is the essence of pacing and leading. When you chunk up, you speak in big universal patterns. This is how all relationships decay when trust isn't repaired. When you chunk down, you go into painful details. Imagine your child looking at you 10 years from now and their eyes saying, "You weren't there for me." This back and forth, toggling, it forces the brain to link the abstract principle to the visceral image, creating a powerful aha moment. People's stated reasons hide the real motivators. You don't attack the composites. You sieve them until the prime emerges. Tell a story of a future self that feels horrible. Picture yourself 5 years from now. Same habits, same excuses. You wake up, stomach heavy, relationships frayed. The world's moved on. Your dreams are now a meme. How does that feel? Heavy. That's your warning signal. Then pivot. Now imagine the same 5 years where you actually act. Start small. Change the trajectory. You open your eyes that morning and you're proud of who's staring back. Which movie do you want to live? You've now handed them a choose-your-own-adventure, but the emotional brain is already picked. Values. Ask, what do you care about most? Let them answer. Then link your desired action to their values. You've told me your children are your world. So when you take this step, you're not just doing it for you. You're modelling strength for them. Their value becomes the emotional engine that drives your outcome. And as you're sitting there, thinking of the sound of your own breath, isn't it interesting how your mind can wander to times you've already done this? Moments you surprised yourself by changing, even without trying. And maybe right now, another part of you can imagine a future where this is second nature, because that's how you've always learned, effortlessly. This bypasses resistance. You're embedding the idea that change is natural, inevitable. So why does this work? The default mode network, it simulates the future self. The amygdala and the insula attach emotional weight to the simulation. Dopamine spikes when the brain predicts a better future. This drives action. Cognitive dissonance. Holding a vivid negative future and current behaviour feels unbearable. The brain resolves it by shifting behaviour. If you don't master these skills, you're like a surgeon operating blindfolded. Your words may cut, but they won't heal. You'll spend years trying to convince people, burning out, wondering why nothing sticks. Meanwhile, your own limiting beliefs calcify. The sculptures harden. Your future self looks at you like, damn, you wasted the workshop. Do this, you become a pattern interrupter, a no bullshit gardener of minds. People leave you shaken, yes, but grateful, because you gave them back their agency. You save years of suffering, not by rescuing them, but by making them rescue themselves. You already do this when you tell a friend, keep eating like that and you'll regret it, and they picture themselves unhealthy. That's a tiny vision, a vivid future simulation. When you say to yourself, if I don't start saving now, and you feel panic, that's your default mode network doing its job. Now you do it deliberately. Fear, what'll they think? You're not manipulating. You're giving them an informed preview. Like a flight simulator that lets pilots crash virtually instead of in real life. You're actually being ethical. The top patterns that drain you. Interrupt these. Procrastination. Later means never. Victim narratives. I can't because. Identity fusion with problems. I'm anxious versus I feel anxious. Interrupt these with metaphors, questions, or vivid futures. Look, the universe doesn't give a shit about your excuses. It runs on cause and effect. You plant poison seeds, you get poison fruit. You plant courage, you get freedom. I'm not here to coddle you. I'm here to hand you the map. You can wander, or you can walk it. But know this, 5 years from now, future you will thank you or hate you. That's physics. That's karma. Pick which experiment you want to run. So pace, mirror their current state. Lead, offer the vivid future. Anchor the values. Loop back, reframe their identity. You're the kind of person who, every time you run this loop, you collapse abstraction into structure, structure into meaning, and meaning into action. Do this enough and people will say, you didn't convince me, you woke me up. That's the art. That's the science. That's the workshop.